everybody. I know it's been a minute since I did a video. I've been having to deal with some things. So today's message is called Grind It Out. And it is meant for me just as much as it is meant for y'all. You know that any message that I give is not from my own choosing, but from His. So there is the verse I'm going to read, I'm going to start with, is Ecclesiastes 9:11. And there is a song that my church sings sometimes, the choir. And part of it says, "The race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong, but to him that endureth till the end." And the Lord really put on my heart this week, I guess really this morning, is don't quit. And I am my own worst enemy, and I can't even stop me. So that's from a song by a guy named Andy Mino. And that I actually just heard that for the first time today, and it like really stuck out to me. He said, "I'm my own worst enemy, and I can't even stop me." Meaning that like God's gonna get His plan done, and you can't mess His plans up. You've just hit some turbulence, and the flight ain't over. So he actually told a story at the end of his song, and about how he like came up with like that album title or the picture, whatever. And he said that he was getting on this plane, and it really, like, it was stormy out and cloudy, and he said he didn't even think it was going to take off, like, period. And so the pilot, came on, said they were fixing to take off. And then whenever they were up in the air, he said, "Okay, brace yourselves, we're going to hit some turbulence." And Andy, he said that I thought we were going to die, like straight up. And he said, honestly, for a minute, I forgot that the sun even existed. And he said, we came through that cloud, and he said it looked like almost like California. He said it was bright, and it was sunshiny, and it was absolutely like they had not even been in a storm literally like 30 seconds ago. And so just hold on. Hold what you got. And ask Him not to give your assignment away. If you really feel like it's come down to that, ask Him to not give your assignment away and to help you grind it out. Just keep on putting one foot in front of the other, and He'll help you get through it, as long as that's what you choose, that you want to do. Like I was struggling with a piece, this past week, and I told God, I said, God, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to play with your mercy. And so it doesn't matter how far in your walk you are or how strong you are. Honestly, the stronger I feel sometimes, the harder I fall. And I don't mean like fall, but I mean, He shows me that it's not my strength, that it's in Him. Because we're nothing without Him. Literally, like, we would be overtaken in a split second if it hadn't been for His provisions, not only for our salvation and for the things that He's brought us through, but also just in general. Like, think of the atmospheric pressure. I think it's 14.7 pounds per square inch, PSI, on your body, like, always. So I mean, it's by His grace and His mercies we're not consumed. And so no matter what you're going through, be strong and grind it out. So I have 3 verses that I want to read. First one's Ecclesiastes 9:11 that we were just talking about. And it says, this was from Solomon, which was the wisest man in the world. That's a really good story. You should go read it. But, so this was from Saul, and he said, "I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all." Time and chance happens to them all. So nobody's excluded. And going back to the lyrics for the song I was talking about earlier, it says, "The race is not for the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to him that endureth to the end." And so in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24, I'm going to read the New King James Version on this one. It says, "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run?" So I'm going to stop there real quick. We're all on a race. Metaphorically, whether you choose to participate or not, whether you choose to be last or you choose to be first, you're still in it. Like, you don't get the option to be like, hey, I'm running this, but I'm not in the race. You know what I'm saying? Jesus said that you're either with me or you're against me. If you're not, like, helping me gather, you're scattering. So there is no gray space. You're either in it or you're not. All right, so starting over. "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it." Put your effort. Give it your best shot. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And grind it out. Don't give up. You might pull a hamstring and you might be like limping. Oh, Jesus. But you're still trying. You have to keep trying. You can't quit. So the Andy Mino story that I was telling you about a second ago, whenever he was in the turbulence in the plane, part of the lyrics of that song is, I just heard it today, and it really, I just literally, like, it clicked. And I felt the Holy Ghost, like, all over me. And I was like, man, like, I feel you, Lord. Like, but it made me feel good because it really helped me process. And he said, if, oh, man, how did it go? Something along the lines of, like, if I let go now, how far will I fall? Because you're already in the flight, or if I jump off now, how far will I fall, or something like that. Because you're committed. You're in it to win it. Ha! The race, you're in it to win it. That was good. Thanks, Lord. Don't give up. Don't give up. I don't care what you've done this week. I don't care what you've said. I don't care what you've thought. I don't care what you've done. Keep going. Keep going. If God can forgive David of adultery, he can forgive you of what you've done. David was still called a man after God's own heart after all of that happened. Do you understand? So it's okay. It's not okay it's not like, it's not an excuse, but you're okay. Just keep going. Hebrews 12 verse 1. "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with a great..." Wherefore, seeing we are... Man, I can't get that one right. Hold on, one more time. Third time's the charm. Hebrews 12:1. "Wherefore, seeing we also are... Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." Sorry, then I got tickled. I couldn't get it out. So let me break that down. Surrounded with such a cloud of witnesses, a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight. Okay, so what is a weight? It is something that is heavy and it hinders you. Paul even said, who hindered you? And technically, in my opinion, every time I think about that, the answer is me. Because, when it really comes down to it, like, who made the final choice? Now, you might be in a situation that you didn't cause, and those do happen, but a lot of the times, how you handle it and what you choose to do with it, that's on you. That's on me. Like, it's our choice. You know, I was literally telling somebody today, they were like, oh, you're always so happy. And I said, man, bad days are optional. Like, they're optional. You can have really tough pieces, but you are the one who chooses if you have a bad day or not. You know, you can even go to a funeral, and that's a really tough piece, and it sucks. But you are the one who chooses to let that depict how your day rolls out. You don't have to have a bad day. So lay aside every weight. Lay aside every hindrance. You know, my mom was just talking to me today, so we're real big on the armor of God. And, you know, the Lord had told her that all of your armor, so there's the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, your shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, and everything else is stationary except for your sword and your shield. And if you have stuff in your hands that's not supposed to be there, whether it be a cigarette and a beer or pride and doubt, you know, whatever you're holding on to, lay aside every weight, every hindrance, put it down and let it go. And the next part says, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, the sin which besets you easily. So, I don't know what the first thing that popped into your mind was whenever I just said that, but whatever he just put in your mind whenever I said that, that's something you need to ask him how to deal with it. Or if he's already given you an answer, just do it. Just do it. No matter what it takes, just do it. I personally had to make a really hard decision this week, and part of some of y'all maybe can relate to me. One of my biggest problems is I usually tend to wait too long before I get mad and make a decision. I don't know what it is. Sometimes whenever I get frustrated, it motivates me. It's dumb. But in this particular situation, I'd had enough of dealing with this specific person. And I had to cut ties with them. But it took me getting used and ran over and straight like doormat status, and I had to get mad before, you know, I cut it loose. And so this person, you know, it so easily beset me because I was always willing to go back into my past for this person. You know, not talking about straight backsliding, but I mean, they were in my past and not living the lifestyle that I am. And they stirred up a lot of emotional distress, I guess you could say. And you gotta lay it aside. If it's hindering you and it easily besets you, get it out. I pray all the time, Lord, take out the people, places, and things that don't need to be in my life, and bring in the people, places, and things that do need to be in my life. And because he's a gentleman, he's not going to take it, but if you lay it at his feet, he will use it, and he will turn it, and he'll help you. I promise you that. If he can help me, he can help you. And I mean that with my hand on the Bible. I put it on here right now. If he can help me, he can help you. Drugs, alcohol, doubt, depression, fear, chronic anxiety, anything, family stuff. If he can help me, he can help you. And so the last part of this verse, and I'll wrap it up, it says, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Now, patience is the hardest one to learn, okay? It's called long suffering in the Bible for a reason. It's long suffering. You know, if you've ever had kids or been around kids, you learn to have patience. And sometimes you sit in here and you're like, but you learn, and it's okay. But let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So, you gotta run. You gotta keep going. Have patience as best as possible, and he'll help you with that. Just don't ask for it. Don't be like, all right, let me tell you a story. You're more than welcome to ask for it, but it comes with a price. Actually, I want to stop right there real quick. my mother told me something this week that she said that my grandmother had taught her, and I've never heard it before. I'm 27, and this is the first time I'm hearing this piece of information, and I've thought about it so many times this week, that the price is always more than you're willing to pay. The price is always more than you're willing to pay. And specifically, we were talking about working out, right? Because I've been trying to like change some shapes of stuff, you know. And so I didn't want to do like an extra, you know, set of reps or whatever. And my mom told me, she goes, yeah, you know, like, you know, my grandmother, she's always told me, you know, the price is more than you're willing to pay. And I'm like, man, so I've thought about that when I'm working out this week and different stuff, you know. And so I'm just like, oh, like make it burn, you know. But I really started applying that. And the price is always more than you're willing to pay. So think about drugs. You want to start dabbling in some drugs. The price is always more than you're willing to pay. And you will not be able to stop whenever you want to. Why? Because you have to pay the price. And I'm speaking firsthand experience. You're like, oh, I'm just going to do, you know, a couple hits of this. Or I'm going to pop a couple of these. Or I'm going to sip a little bit of this. And you keep going. And it's never enough. It's never enough. You know, same with parties. People are like, oh yeah, it was this great party. I'm having another one next weekend, man. Come on over. It's because it's never enough. It never satisfies. It never quenches that thirst. It never fills that hole in that void. And so I really want you to think about this week and apply it to everything that you can. Anything that it's applicable to. Think about it. And honestly, like, even if you want to, if you think you got a really good one, put it in the comments below. You know, and you know that if you have anything that you want me to pray for, put it in the comments below, and I'll pray for you in Jesus' name. But real quick, I want to go back. Grind it out. Don't quit. And it's just some turbulence. The flight's not over. The race isn't over. And I have faith in you. He has called you and chosen you for a reason and a purpose. And you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And you got this. You got this. So it doesn't matter if you're sitting in your kitchen floor crying. It doesn't matter if you're out on the back patio, you know, watching the rain right now. Whatever you're doing, He knows right where you're at. He can pick you up. You just have to let Him. So, you'll have a fantastic and mighty blessed rest of your day. And like I said, if you need anything prayed for, put it in the comments below and I'll pray for you in Jesus' mighty name. And I hope you'll have a fantastically, wonderfully blessed day. Bye.